Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a beautiful girl named Emily. She was 20 years old. Emily had bright blue eyes and golden hair that shone in the sunlight. Her family was poor, but they were happy. They lived in a small house filled with love and warmth. Emily loved to read books. She often dreamed of a better life, a world beyond the village where new adventures awaited. One day, she went to the village market. As she walked through the busy stalls, she met a boy named John. John was tall and handsome. He had dark hair and a kind smile that made everyone feel at ease. He came from a wealthy family. His parents owned a grand house and vast lands. Emily and John quickly became friends. They spent hours talking and laughing together. They loved walking in the fields, feeling the breeze by the river, and sharing their thoughts about life. John told Emily about his dreams, and Emily shared her hopes with him. They felt a deep connection, something neither of them had ever experienced before. One day, John looked into Emily's eyes and said softly, I love you, Emily. Will you marry me?" Emily's heart filled with joy. She smiled and said, "Yes, John. I love you too." They hugged, their hearts beating as one, and dreamed about the future they would build together. But their happiness was short-lived. John's parents did not approve of Emily. They believed she was not good enough for their son because she was poor. John's mother frowned and said, "John, you cannot marry Emily. She is not from a wealthy family." His father nodded in agreement. "You must find someone from a rich family," he insisted. John's heart sank. He loved Emily deeply and could not imagine a life without her. He looked at his parents and said firmly, "I love Emily. She is kind and good. Money does not matter." But his parents would not listen. "If you marry Emily, we will not support you," they warned. Emily soon learned about John's struggle. She felt her own heart breaking. She loved John, but she did not want to be the reason he lost everything. With tears in her eyes, she whispered, "Maybe it's better if we don't marry. I don't want to make your life difficult." John shook his head. "No, Emily, I will always love you. We will find a way." Days passed, and John tried to change his parents' minds, but they remained firm. Emily's family also worried. Her mother gently said, "Emily, we love you. We want you to be happy. But maybe it's best to let John go." Emily cried herself to sleep many nights. She did not know what to do. She loved John, but she did not want to bring him pain. One day, she made a decision. She met John and said, "John, I love you very much, but I think it's better if we don't marry. Your parents will never accept me. I don't want to make your life hard." John's heart shattered. "Emily, I cannot live without you. But I understand. I will always love you." They hugged, tears streaming down their faces. Their love was strong, but the world was against them. They made a promise to stay friends and always support each other. But deep inside, they both knew that their love story had been left unfinished. Emily stayed with her family. She worked hard and did her best to help them. John continued his life, but he never stopped thinking about Emily. Years passed, yet the love in their hearts never faded. They never forgot each other. They learned that sometimes love is not enough. Life could be cruel, but they held on to the love they once shared. Emily became a kind and respected woman in the village. She helped her family and neighbors, always offering a helping hand. The people adored her, for they knew she had a heart full of kindness. John worked hard as well. He took care of his family's business and was fair to everyone. They knew their hearts still belonged to each other, but they also knew that John's parents would never accept their love. So they made a quiet decision to stay friends and always support each other, even if they could never be together. One day, John had to leave for the city for work. Before he left, he took Emily's hands in his and said, "I have to leave for a while, but I will write to you." Emily's heart ached, but she nodded. "I will miss you, John. Please take care." John hugged her tightly and whispered, "I will miss you too, but I will come back soon." With that, he left for the city, carrying Emily's love in his heart. In the city, John worked hard. He learned new things, built a future for himself, and faced the challenges of a world far different from the village. But no matter how busy he was, he never forgot Emily. He wrote letters to her, telling her about his life, his dreams, and his longing to see her again. Emily read every letter with a smile, her heart warming with every word. She wrote back, sharing stories of the village, her daily life, and how much she missed him. Through their letters, they kept their love alive, even when miles apart. Time passed. John became successful in his work. He saved money, helped his family, and built a name for himself. But one thing never changed: his love for Emily. She was always in his thoughts, in his heart. Emily too thought of John every day. She missed him, but she was happy to hear of his success. Then one day, John made a decision. He would return to the village. He had to see Emily. When he arrived, he walked to her house, his heart pounding. He knocked on the door. Emily opened it, and when she saw him standing there, her eyes widened in surprise. "John, you're back," she gasped. John smiled, his eyes full of warmth. "Yes, Emily, I missed you." They sat together and talked for hours. John told her about his life in the city. Emily told him about her life in the village. They laughed, shared old memories, and for a moment, it felt as if nothing had changed. Then John took a deep breath and said, "Emily, I still love you. I want to be with you." Emily's heart raced. She had waited so long to hear those words, but worry filled her eyes. "John, I love you too, but what about your parents?" John reached for her hands. "I have saved money. I can support us. I don't need my parents' approval anymore." Tears welled in Emily's eyes. She was touched by his determination. "John, I am so proud of you, but I don't want to cause problems for you." John smiled and shook his head. "Emily, you are my happiness. I want to be with you." And in that moment, Emily knew. She knew their love had been strong enough to withstand everything. They decided to be together. The journey would not be easy, but they were ready to face it together. Soon, they were married in a small ceremony, surrounded by friends and family. Emily's family was overjoyed. They knew John was a good man who truly loved her. But John's parents refused to accept the marriage. They did not attend the wedding. Still, John and Emily did not let that stop them. They moved to the city, determined to build a life together. Hand in hand, they faced every challenge, supporting each other through thick and thin. And no matter what life threw their way, their love kept them strong. Years passed, and their love only grew deeper. They built a happy home. They had children and raised them with the values of love and kindness. They never forgot the journey that brought them here. They never forgot the struggles, the pain, and the sacrifices. But most of all, they never forgot their love. They knew the true love was strong enough to overcome any obstacle. As the years went by, Emily and John grew old together. They would sit side by side, looking back on their life with happiness and pride. They had loved, they had fought for each other, and in the end, they had built a life worth cherishing. They were grateful for each other for their love, and for every moment they had shared. And so, Emily and John lived happily ever after, always holding on to the love that had brought them together. For they knew one thing to be true: real love never dies. It lives on in memories, in hearts, and in the beautiful life they had built. The end. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and share. See you in the next video.